Ah. Hello, this is Luke reporting for I've Got Sand in My Vagina.com.news.org. Recent findings have been corroborated with the prospect that it seems to be too much for people to just go, well, we aren't in your religion, but we we is tolerant of all religions. Going one step further and going, oh, maybe it's a good idea to teach little boys and girls to believe in heaven and hell so that they don't worry about on the vertical front the global satellite network, and then you can tell them that God gave them like Google Maps. God created Google Maps so that you could view maps in 3D form, and that on the what's vertical but down? What is it? Excuse me. Nope. Nobody, sadly, in our department seems to have any idea about vertical down axis. So they go, oh, it's I've learned to abstain from belief from 4,000 years ago when only kingdoms could read stories to people if they and said if you walk so far you'll fall off the edge of the earth and you'll just fall like this cigarette, see? Fall. And what's crazier still is that they don't want anyone talking about and saying, well, should it become a matter at Federate demand and Federate Commonwealth demand and demand for the welfare of the Commonwealth and the welfare of the wealth in common and commonwealth and health and healthy, wealthy and not wise, should it not then therefore be rules? They make us play by rules every day and night, and they even know our dreams are governed by the shadow of their rules. So, quick question, hot shot. If you are looking to purchase and take out a mortgage on a house on a particular chunk of land, be it suburbanly defined or otherwise, is the value of land limited to the one house only, or is it stated to be something along the lines of, well, house purchasing in this particular region is cheap at or expensive at this particular point in time? Now, if that's were the case, you would find $100,000 mortgages, with the exception of one house with a $400,000 mortgage on the same chunk of land. Or there are corporate entities that own the whole chunk of land, but they are gonna lose money should they want to rent it for you to take your house mortgage out on, as long as in legal terms they are living on it. That's on it, not under it. Living under the land is not living on the land. Alice. Who the fuck is Alice? So, what the Queen queefs on and on about is that we have it that at her very, very best word, even if she has bearing of an emotional hope that the existence of heaven be true, then we know conversely that she also hopes to get there in place of going to heaven. A twofold distraction on anything going on, once again beneath the surface of the land. So why is it that commentary on this subject seems nonetheless all the more unbelievable? Is that it? It's more unbelievable than Bronze Age kingdoms unraveling scrolls before commoners that were too poor and pov to have scrolls that were four-cornered in shape once unrolled. And then they said the earth had four corners and you could walk off the edge. So you don't get the idea that if you could walk off the edge of the earth or go to live forever in heaven eternally above the unrolled papyrus manuscript scribe, or live and burn in torture and eternal torment if you were sent to for eternity to live underneath the papyrus manuscript scribe, which had nothing to do with incest going on in kingdoms. Because I haven't watched Game of Thrones properly, so how would I know? How would I know what's more plausible? How would I know? So, yeah, this land space is quite cheap right about now. Well, there'll be a committee. There'll be a committee of deed and title landholders. But by what rules do they play and operate? And since you know that money was originally invented because it saved time from motherfuckers carting bricks of gold and or stone or opal or rock in a wheelbarrow 2 kilometers down that way, so they made promissory slips of paper to save them the travel time. The invention of money served in the form of an IOU type of arrangement. So what happens now that motherfuckers can mine underground? What happens now? I'm asking you. Oi. I'm asking you. What happens now? Well, or what happened then? What happened then is that since if you aren't living on the land, but are the incest inherently to land rights, as long as you're not living on the surface, the value of the land's only going to go up if you're living under it. And it is fair to say that an appropriate term for this phenomenon is beyond hell. And that's why every Christian in Australia is a weak-minded pussy cunt. Every Christian in Australia past the age of, let's give Scott Morrison the benefit of the faith and say 21, is a weak-willed, weak-minded pussy cunt. Because you're lining your young up for all forms of deception. It's the blunder from down